First of all, I support the president's policy,
Okay.
but I'm concerned about it because it's going to be difficult to achieve all the objectives that he outlined. But I think, number one, I think they are achievable.
Okay.
And number two is I don't think we should make a judgment right now. You get a lot of people in Washington that, even while he was speaking, they said his policy wouldn't work. 10 minutes after he spoke, they said it wouldn't work. And then they gave themselves a long period of time, like a week, and then said it wouldn't work.
Absolutely.
And they evaluate the airstrikes every morning like they're a baseball box score. I just think forget that it's unfair to the president, it's unfair to the policy. So I think we have to look at this policy after a couple of months and keep reevaluating it. But it's a challenge, but I don't think we have any choice. If you say that ISIS or an entity like that is a threat, it's a terrorist organization, it's an army, and it's a criminal organization, it's a substantial threat that we have to deal with. You have to be committed to making the strategy work. The military aspects of the strategy are very important, but I don't think they're going to be decisive. What's going to be determinative is a better word. What's going to be determinative in the long run, over many months and over several years, is have we kept this, what is now a 16-nation coalition, have we kept that together and has it been effective? Has, because of that coalition, have economic sanctions and other pressure on ISIS, cutting off their money, which is what Senator Rubio and I were working on, sending a letter to Secretary of State John Kerry, cutting off their funding, has that been effective? Has the Iraqi government developed a government of national unity, which has a direct impact on whether their fighters will fight ISIS? If you're a Sunni soldier and you don't feel that the Baghdad government represents you and will protect you, why would you be an effective soldier on the battlefield? So cutting off their money, keeping the coalition together, keeping pressure on them economically, coupled with airstrikes, and then finally the part that you referred to, having entities or nations in the region do the fighting. We need the Turks to help with the fighting, which they seem to indicate they're willing to do as of the last 24, 48 hours. Having the Iraqi military, as I said, carry the fight in Iraq. And then the element that no one thinks will work, it seems like, but I think will work if we stay committed to it. Training a small number, it's not going to be 10 or 20,000, but training maybe 5,000 Syrians who are in the opposition against Assad, but who are nationalistic. They're not focused on jihad and what some in the Middle East are focused on. They're focused on their country and governing their own country and having Assad leave. But we have to vet them carefully. We've already started that vetting. It's gone back. It's been happening for a long period of time. So that they have to help do the fighting in Syria. There's no reason why we should have American combat troops on the ground. When you have those elements in the region that can do the fighting, but we help them do the fighting with our airstrikes, our intelligence, and our economic pressure, and mostly keeping that coalition together. Like, you've got to give a bear hug to them every day and keep them on the same page.
Okay.
But I think the strategy can work, but it's very challenging.